Hiya!
Hello!
Welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece.
I'm Dammy.
And we're so glad you're here today. I am casting on for my preemie hat because, and Dammy's making a pom-pom. It is Sunday, the 28th of March, 2021, and this is episode 437. We'd like to say a big welcome back, love y'all, to all returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. Dammy is with us this week. Yay! We love when Dammy's here. And you start your spring quarter tomorrow.
Yes.
What classes are you taking? We may have to close the patio door just because of the traffic noise, but we'll do that after this segment.
I am taking stage movement and acting 3 and Christian theology.
Okay. Sounds like a diverse schedule. There we go. I was trying to think of the word. So, and I am now, I think I talked about this on last week's episode, but now I am working, I'm still working 4 10-hour shifts, but I'm working Tuesdays to Fridays now. So I have Saturday, Sunday, Mondays off. So, still kind of adjusting. That's what it is. You know, going from being home to working 40 hours a week. I'm a night owl. Early mornings are tough, and fibromyalgia sucks. So there you go. I've used most of my students today, I think, already, but that's fine. Dammy came over early, and we've been hanging some things on my flat wall. So we're not done, but when it's all done, I'll give a tour or something. So maybe I can do that in next week's episode, since it's just me. Maybe I can do a tour and put it in Yummies. So, okay, well, we have some things to talk about, including a review of the new issue of Pom Pom Quarterly. So we should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
And there's actually nothing on my needles because I finished something. But I'm going to show you what I am going to be working on. I just need to move my preemie hat over from the crochet hook to the knitting needle, and because I do the Emily Ocker cast on so that it has a drawstring top, and Dammy's working on the pom-pom for my hat, and so I will show that finished next week. But I am going to wind this yarn. I don't know if I'll do it today or I'll do it tomorrow, but this is going to be the yarn that I'm going to use to knit my bestie Katie's husband Jeremy's birthday socks, and he has big feet, and his birthday's in May, so I need to get them started. I'm going to be using my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that you can get at
javapearldesigns.com.
Yep, and I'm going to be using this yarn. It is Sun Soaked Sister Everything Earth in the Blue Christmas Without You colorway, and it is hand dyed here in the Pacific Northwest using berries, bugs, and veggies. So, and it is a 70% superwash merino wool, 20% yak, 10% nylon yarn. So, I will be winding that up and casting it on because I knit on my socks, usually on my bus to work in the mornings, sometimes in the afternoons too, just depending on how tired I am. And then I usually knit some on the weekend as well. So, but this one, not having a pattern like the one I just finished that I'm about to show y'all, is going to make it a little faster, kind of, except for these are going to be bigger. So I don't know. But I won't have to pay attention to the pattern. I'll just be able to go round and round in circles. So, yep. So that's what is about to go on my needles, is both preemie hat and socks for Jeremy. Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
So I have 2 this week. So first up is my weekly preemie hat from last Sunday. This is number 12 for the year. It's from my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on our website.
JavaPearlDesigns.com.
That's right. I did this on US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarn is Pandia's Jewels hand-dyed yarn 3-ply tweed in the sleet colorway. So I made this one a little bit bigger. I increased to I don't know how many stitches. Because my increased rows are knit front and back, and then knit 1, knit front and back, knit 2, knit front and back. That's where I usually stop, is that increase. But this one I did knit 3, knit front and back. So it's a bigger hat and very cute. And so I finished that. I'm gonna lay that on Dammy's leg. And then the other thing I finished is socks. So this is I'll have 2 coffees and 2 cherry danishes to go please socks by me. Get it on our website on US 1.5, 2.5mm needles. And the yarn is It's All About You Fidalgo sock in the Cherry Blossoms version 2.0 colorway. So one of these was done from when I had designed it. And then when we were going through our samples to do our sample sale, which is still going in our Etsy shop. There's still some samples in there that if you want to get something that Dammy and I designed and knit, check out our Etsy shop. Is it javapearl.etsy.com?
I don't know.
I think so. So one of these is already done. I had the yarn still left over, so I did the second one. And it is just this really nice textured pattern that looks great really with any yarn, but I think it's fun on self-striping. So that was the second thing I finished. So that's why I need to cast on Jeremy socks, because I finished. So yeah, that's everything I finished for this week. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for FlossTube.
I don't have mine with me today.
Have you worked on it any? Okay. You've been just relaxing and recovering from winter quarter. So, I've only worked on one thing this week, but I want to mention a second thing. So don't let me forget to mention the second thing. This is in my Forbidden Fibers Gilmore Girls bag. And this is the Gilmore Girls sampler by the Enablers Facebook group. And here is where I'm at. So this week, let's see if I can remember, I finished Luke's hat. This is all in. I did the umbrella for the In Omnium Paratus. I did the spools of thread and the needle and the pens. I did the Founders Day punch. And I did the ball and chain for when Rory stole the boat, yacht, whatever it was, and went to jail. So there's that. I have 6 clues left. They are a martini glass with an olive for Emily and Richard, a paw print for Paul Anka, Yale Daily News, a rocket for Logan. Don't like for Logan. And wait, I'm missing one. What am I missing? Oh, I think it's right here. There, yep, it is. It just got put in the wrong thing. Like one of my favorite pieces from this. It's for when Lorelai is singing at karaoke night and she sings "I Will Always Love You" to Luke. And then I was wrong about what goes in the middle. It's actually the gazebo. But I also was telling Dammy that I want to figure out a place to put Gilmore Girls on this. So it might go on the bottom just because I have a little more fabric down there. But I kind of want to take the actual like logo, you know, with the uppercase G for Gilmore and the lowercase g for girls, and like actually stitch that like at the bottom. So this has been such a fun stitch. The full pattern is now available if you don't want to print out each of the 36 clues. You can now print out just the final from the Enablers group on Facebook. and it's a free pattern. And I used mostly called for DMCs. I had to sub a few things, but that's fine. So there's that. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about, I think I mentioned it last week as well, is I am doing a stitch along with Michelle Bendy Stitchy, and I can't think of the other person's Instagram. I posted it on Instagram. I'm doing the Peruvian Cats Reflection Sampler by Peruvian Flair, and the stitch along for this starts next Saturday, the 3rd of April. I'm debating which of two special flosses I'm going to use, and I need to figure out which fabric I'm going to use, which is going to then help me decide which floss I'm going to use. So I'm really excited about that. I believe the hashtag is hashtag Peruvian Cats, plural, Sal, S-A-L, Peruvian Cats, Sal. And the pattern was not expensive. I want to say it was like under $5, but I've put a picture of it on the screen. And you can either do it like in just like one color. You could do it in like shades of the same color, so like different shades of like pink or blue or red or green or whatever. You could do like rainbow. This pattern is very versatile to be able to do it however you would like to do it. So I'm really excited about that. Will I have my Gilver Girl sampler done by next Saturday? Probably not, but that's okay. Yeah, I will definitely jump in on the Peruvian Cats sampler, and it's not huge. It's fairly small. I want to say it's like, I think it said like if you did it on 14 count Aida that it was like around 7 inches square, and it's not a full coverage, so it's not a very big piece. So I'm really excited about that though. So I will be working on that starting on Saturday for the Peruvian Cat style. We don't have any cross stitch in any of the rest of the episode, but I hope you'll stick around because we have some yummies to talk about, and we have the review and a few other things. So we should move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show. Yummies. What are yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. You have a yummy to talk about.
Yeah. My friend Hallie sent me, I'm wearing one of her shirts right now. I talked about this last time I was here. She sent me a hoodie inspired by WandaVision, and she has them for sale in her Etsy. So.
Yep. I will see if I can pull a picture and put it on the screen. Mm-hmm. So that's really fun. Yeah. I'm getting a shirt from Hallie, so I'm excited to get that when she had to order my size. Mm-hmm. So I am excited to get that. I had a shirt that I was going to show y'all, but hopefully I'll be able to show it to you next week, because what happened was I ordered this beautiful t-shirt from My Favorite Murder, and it is Elvis the cat done as a saint, and my parcel had quite the journey, and it got here, and the parcel was, I guess it had gotten probably caught in a machine with the post office, and it was ripped, and there was a huge grease spot all over the shirt. And so I contacted them and was like, I sent pictures. I was like, my shirt. And they were like, oh my, it went on quite a journey, didn't it? And said, we're sending you a new one. And I was like, thank you very much. So hopefully that new one will be here by next week's episode, and I can show it to y'all, because it is beautiful and I can't wait to show you. So that was supposed to be my yummy for this week. So what else is yummy? Yummy that we're hanging things on my walls. That's exciting. Yummy that Dammy's here. Yummy that, when I recorded last week, okay, so over here to my right is my balcony, and there is like a shade that goes over the window that like rolls, you like pull on the chain and it rolls it up. And Pink loves it because her cat condo is right in front of the balcony doors, the one that doesn't slide open. And she loves to watch out. So I normally open it for her while I'm gone to work during the day. And they had not, whoever installed it had not put anchors in when they installed it, and it ripped it out of the ceiling. And so they came and fixed it, and now Pink is very happy because she can watch out the balcony doors. I like the sunlight coming in when we do have sun here. We do have sun here sometimes in the Pacific Northwest, and it just makes me happy. So that was definitely yummy to get that fixed because, yeah. Yep. I can't think of anything else. So let's talk about hashtag GGKCraftyPad. What is it, Dammy?
It is our weekly photo a day challenge. You take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, post it anywhere you like, but we're picking our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. And so for March, we've been doing colors and color related words. But I released the April prompts list today, and April is numbers, and it's so very cheater friendly to interpret it however you wish. So what are we about to show them, Dammy?
Photos that we liked from us and other people.
That's right. Here come the photos. Those were our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. For example, today, as we're recording, today's prompt is copper. You interpret that however you wish. We're very cheater friendly on this. And you take your photo, you post it on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad, and yours might get chosen. If you have a private account on Instagram and you are participating in GGKCraftyPad, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you, because otherwise we can't see your photos. So send Dammy a message, they'll follow you, and yours might get chosen. All right, well, I think we are ready to move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
Nothing yet because the quarter hasn't started.
But it starts tomorrow, and
Yeah.
you'll be reading because I know you got your textbooks this week.
Yeah.
So when you do start reading again, I assume that you'll be reading at least 15 minutes a day.
Yes.
What am I referring to?
The January, February, March RAL.
Read along. So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day, every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. And in our Facebook group, there is a finish line thread for January, February, March, and that will close the morning of the 1st of April. So you need to make sure that your that you posted in there if you've been reading for January, February, March. And then in 2 weeks when Dammy's back on, we'll announce prize winners on that. And then I created the April, May, June finish line thread in the Facebook group. I just locked it to comments and then I'll unlock it for comments starting April 1st. And by participating in the seasonal RALs, you earn entries into our year-long challenge. And at the beginning of 2022, we will draw for 3 grand prize winners, and they'll each win a grand prize bundle. And there are also ways that you can earn bonus entries. All the details are in our Facebook group and on our website.
GGKCS.com.
Yes. Okay. Let me tell you what I have been reading. I am reading The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma by I tried to pronounce this. How would you pronounce that?
Bessel van der Kolk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bessel van der Kolk. We're going to go with that. I am reading this for counseling. My counselor is having me read it. So, I'm continuing my reread of the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, The Order of the Phoenix, with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. So Swish and Flick is dividing this chapter, Beyond the Veil, into 3 segments. Their first third of it was over 2 hours long. So, I was hoping we were going to be done with this book in the next, a few weeks. That's not going to happen because I think there's still, 3 chapters after this. But it is what it is. And then I finished reading a few books. I read Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. And this is about a private investigator who does not have magic, but her sister does. And someone is killed at the magic school that her sister teaches at. And so the other sister goes to try to solve the murder. I read The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. And this one was so much fun. It's set here in Seattle. And it's about these 2 people that work at a public radio station in Seattle. And they're always trying to find new shows and whatever. So they do a show together where they pretend like that they had dated and then broke up. And then it's like a relationship type podcast and radio show. And what happens? It does have adult content. There you go. Also, though, by Rachel Lynn Solomon, I read Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. And this is about 2 high school seniors. And they've had a rivalry all through high school. And this is the last day of school and what ensues. And it is written as a YA book, but there is some sex content in it. So just be advised of that. And then I just started reading last night, We Shall Sing a Song into the Deep by Andrew Kelly Stewart. And this is, thus far, we're in a submarine. Apparently the world has things are dying off, whatever. They are in this submarine waiting for the sign that this is the end. They're going to set off their last torpedo and let their submarine sink into the deep so that they can then go on to heaven and a better place. But apparently not everything is as it seems, but I haven't gotten there yet, but there's hints. So I just started reading that last night. So, watching House Hunters because House Hunters. Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I finished watching season 7 and I'm watching season 8 as well as the episodes for the That's Messed Up and SVU podcast, which is a lot of fun. Love it, but it does have adult content and language in it. And, yeah. And I saw Pink is in the very top part of her cat condo and she's turning herself in circles. I saw that Christopher Maloney, who plays Stabler in SVU, and I know he leaves at some point, but he has a new show coming called, I think it's called Law and Order Organized Crime. And I saw that it was starting, but I wanted to get caught up on SVU before I start watching that. So, watching season 5 of The Masked Singer, and oh, I can see his face that got kicked off. He has been in so much stuff. Wikipedia. He always plays the villain.
Danny Trejo.
Yes. he was, that's the wrong season. He was the one that was unmasked. And yeah, he had so much fun with it, even though he was not a good singer, in my opinion. But he had fun with it. So, and then because of Dammy's influence, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch WandaVision. So I started watching it yesterday. And I finished watching it yesterday. I watched the entire series of 9 episodes, I believe. I was texting Dammy and was like, what is this? What should I know something about this? What does this mean? So I know I didn't catch like all of the whatever, but it was definitely interesting. And I loved how they did the sitcom thing, because it was fun to be like, oh, they modeled that on, you know, like Bewitched or, you know, Brady Bunch or, you know, different things like that. So that was fun to watch that. And then you've been watching something too.
Yeah, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The first 2 episodes are out.
Okay, so I need to start watching that one then.
If you want to.
Yeah. I saw that a friend was watching it on Facebook.
It doesn't look comfortable at all. She keeps moving.
Yeah, she tries to figure out. She's got a little too much fluff for that platform. Have you been watching anything else?
Shark Tank.
And then this week several of my shows start back up. Like that had taken a little bit of a break. NCIS LA, New Orleans, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and the final season of Supergirl starts this week. So, and then listening to My Favorite Murder Podcast, random Spotify playlists.
Cabin Pressure, Spotify.
Yeah, we were listening to Spotify while we were hanging things on my wall. So, there we go. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about our March, April, May She Be Spring Owl.
Bah.
So this runs through the 1st of March through the 31st of May. It is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to spring. Couple main rules apply. The first is that no whips are allowed, so your project must have been begun no earlier than March 1st, then finished no later than May 31st. And each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If it's not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post, in a single photo, a single comment in the FO thread, and that will count as 1 entry. You can feel free to polydip and other alongs as long as it fits in with their rules.
Oh, we have a Google form that you can fill out. It's linked in the Facebook group and in the show notes. And that just helps us when we start drawing for prizes, that we make sure, like, if you're not a knitter or crocheter, you're probably not going to want yarn. Or if you don't cross stitch, you're probably not going to want cross stitch. So if you don't fill out that form and tell us what crafts that you do, and you are drawn as a prize winner, you'll just get whatever we've got. Mm-hmm. So.
We've got lots of lovely prizes on our screen right now. Thank you so much to our prize donors. If you would like to donate a prize for this or a future owl, you can email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get closer looks at these prizes, you can go to our show notes, ggkcs.com, or you can tune into the first-ish podcast of every month where we talk about them in detail.
Yeah, so when you're back on in 2 weeks, we'll talk about them in detail.
Yeah, you have to be a member of the GGKCS group on Facebook in order to participate. There's a hashtag if you want to post on social media. It's GGKCS Spring21. The FO thread will be locked for comments the morning of June 1st, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit. Speaking
of that, we haven't heard from all of the Winter Wonderland prize winners, so just a reminder, if you participated in Winter Wonderland, go back and watch the first episode of March where we announced the winners.
And there's also a chatter thread in the Facebook group where you can post. And the people who finished projects in the last 2 weeks are Brittany, Jane, Sarah, Silver, and Tracy.
Great job, everybody. All right, it's never too late to join in, get your projects done. You have a little over 2 months to get your projects finished and posted, and you might be a prize winner. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
now it's time for Ask the Geeks, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes. What is this week's question, Amy?
This week's question was originally asked and answered in 2017. Ruth asks, Cece, who first taught you to knit and what was your first project?
Yeah. So when this was originally asked, I wasn't knitting socks on Zoom needles yet. So Ruth asks about knitting socks on Magic Loop and if that's the best way. So I learned to knit in 2005 from a book in a kit that I got at a big box store. Mm-hmm. And what I knit, I'm trying to think what my first project would have been. Probably like a blanket or a scarf or something small like that. I don't really remember what it was. But for a long time, all I knit was like baby blankets and all of that. I didn't get really into knitting other stuff until I knit like baby hats, things like that, until after I stopped working at the hospital in 2009. And I got more into knitting at that point. Mm-hmm. That is, and in 2005 is when I stopped cross stitching because I started knitting and fell in love. So about knitting socks, y'all know that I now knit my socks on 9-inch circulars, and I call them zoom needles because you zoom around in circles. I start all of my socks though Magic Loop because there's not enough stitches for the toe to be on Magic Loop until you finish the increases for the toe. So I knit those Magic Loop and then I put them on the zoom needles, and I do everything else including the heel and the cuff on the zoom needles. I would say if it's your first pair of socks, either Magic Loop or Magic Loop onto zoom needles. The zoom needles, people either really love them or really hate them, one of the two. But the needle tips are so short that you have to figure out if your hands can get adjusted to that. I have to knit English style where you're throwing. Is that English?
Yes.
Yes. Where you're throwing because there's just not enough room holding those tiny needles to do it continental style like what I'm knitting right now for this preemie hat where you're picking the yarn where it's in your left hand. Yeah. So I know several people who did their first pair of socks on zoom needles. So I'm not personally a fan of double pointed needles, but some people do knit socks that way. Some people knit socks using 2 circular needles. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of options there. So, okay, Dammy, I'm going to ask you your part of the question now. Okay. Dammy, I'm guessing your mom taught you to knit, but what was your first project? Do you do socks Magic Loop as well?
I do socks Magic Loop when I knit them. My first projects were bookmarks, which were just long strips of garter stitch.
Yep. But then once you started like into knitting proper, after doing little things like that, mm-hmm. you did that scarf with the Watson cable pattern on it to learn how to cable knit. Mm-hmm. And then you knit the whole sweater.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. If you haven't seen pictures of it, it is amazing. So when you decided to dive into it full force, you really dived into it full force. Mm-hmm. So those were fun. That's a fun question. It had been a while since we had talked about when we very first started knitting. So you were around like 8 when I taught you?
I think so. Something
like that. And then you probably got into knitting like full on in the months before we started the podcast. So that would have been almost 9 years ago now. Whatever that was, 2012? Something like that. So, yep. All right. Well, Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Post it in our Ask the Geeks thread in our Facebook group, or put it in the comments under the YouTube video.
That's right. All right. We're ready to move on to the review. Here we go. Y'all, I'm having so much fun with this clicker. because we're recording on my phone right now and it kept shaking every time we pushed the button. So Dammy went and got the clicker that came with our ring light out, and it works, and I'm happy with that. Okay, do you want to enter this segment?
Now we're going to do a review.
Yes. We're going to do a review of the spring issue of Pom Pom Quarterly, spring 2021, issue number 36. And this one is themed block party. So it got its inspiration from quilts. So there's a nice article. And one of the things I really love about this issue is they used quilts like as the backgrounds. Okay, let me get back here to where the details about the patterns are. Okay, so first up, what would you call that?
Leaves by Molly Siebert.
So there is this beautiful oversized thing. This was inspired by flying over Dutch tulip fields. And this is a double knit jacket. And there's options to have the hood or to not have the hood. And it comes in 7 sizes. And it's done, these segments are always so long that I'm going to try to not do as much detail. But if there's one you have a question about, just ask us. We're happy to talk about it. So this is done in DK weight yarn, or sport weight, which both of those are pretty similar on like US 6 4 mil and US 5 3.75 mil and US 8 5 mil. And it's double knitted reversible modular coat with a big hood or fold over collar. And it uses a textured yarn on the wrong side to mimic quilt batting or faux shearling. And it's knit flat and is seamless except for the shoulders. Okay, and I love how they did this to show you how you knit it. Like, but it's just like numbers and it's got arrows to show you like how you do the squares. Okay, second we have Lucky Pieces by
In Young Kim.
And this is inspired by pinwheels and windmills. And the crossover front and tie closure reference the, is it hanbok?
Yeah.
A traditional Korean outfit. Yeah. And here are some more pictures of it. And this comes in 5 sizes, knit with fingering weight yarn on US 5 3.75 mil needles. It's worked from the bottom up with the interlock technique, which consists of triangular and rectangular motifs. Yeah. So that one is a fun one. And then next up we have Dayspring by
Einar Birkendavid.
There we go. They did 2 different versions of it in here. This is a dolman sleeve top. Sunrise quilts can be pieced from all the colors of your imagination. So this is inspired by a sunrise quilt. So there's 2 different options. Like they used different colors than this one, but then just one color in this version. And it is done in 9 sizes using sport weight yarn. And it gives you lots of options. So if you want to do a long version or a cropped version, and it's knit on US 3's 3.25 mil needles. It's worked flat and sideways in 2 pieces. It begins with a sleeve and then continues with the body worked in wedges created with short rows. And then the 2 pieces are seamed at the center front and back with Kitchener stitch or an optional visible seam. All right, then we have Battenberg by Gina
Fama Rockenwagner.
Very pretty. This is a crochet project. It's perfect for lonesome skeins and remainders. So like leftover yarn. The visual inspiration for this was the classic 9-patch quilt or the British Battenberg cake. Here are some more pictures. So this comes in 7 sizes, uses DK or sport weight yarn and worsted weight yarn. Using a USD 3.25 mil and a USC 2.75 mil crochet hook. It's constructed from a number of separately worked granny squares, and then they're joined together with a double crochet border. Very pretty. And they did another like diagram to show you how to like do your pieces on that. Next up we have a shawl. This is Whole Cloth by Maria
Matvieva. I like this one.
This one's very pretty. So this is inspired of like by the long arm quilting that like can, when you're sewing like all the layers of the quilt together, it can make pretty designs using the long arm. And so this shawl has 3-dimensional textures of wheat on a garter stitch background. Very, very pretty. This comes just in 1 size. It's done with DK weight yarn on a US 6 4mm needle. It starts at the bottom point and extends on both sides to a wide top edge. Yeah, very, very pretty. Next up, I really like this one because of how it's constructed. This is Crux by Amalia Sieber and
like this one too.
Kindred Red. So this, they talk about like the history of quilting and how it came through. So this is a love song to quilting's distinctive hand stitches, to mending, and to no-waste sewing. It's a cropped boxy cardigan. It uses French braids along the wrong side to secure the yarn ends rather than weaving them in, and does box pleats at the cuffs. So here it is. So can you see like all those little strands that are sewn in there? So this comes in 9 sizes. It uses DK weight yarn, and then it uses DK or sport weight yarn made up of 2 to 6 contrasting colors. So the sample uses 6 pastel shades: purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and pink. Pink pearl. Hi, baby. Done on US 5's 3.75 mil needles. It's a boxy, cropped, and gender-inclusive open cardigan. Uses contrasting yarn in horizontal and vertical floats to form the hand stitching motif all over. It's worked flat in pieces from the bottom up, has German short row shaping at the shoulders, and then it's seamed, and the drop shoulder sleeves are picked up from the selvage and knitted in the round without shaping for a loose, relaxed fit. Sleeve ends in a box pleated cuff to cinch in at the wrist before being finished with marled I-cord. And the body's also edged with marled I-cord meant to mimic quilt binding, and then the mini yarn ends are French braided together on the wrong side. How fun is that? I love that one so much. Love it. Very, very pretty. And you could do it in, I mean, you can make it look so different depending on if you like only use a couple of like the contrast. You know, you could do it like, it would be really pretty to do it in like the main color, like a gray, and then use like 6 different shades of pink for the, that would be fantastic. Okay, this is Paper Houses by Chantal Laplante. And it says, have you ever wished you could wear your favorite blanket? This was inspired by the aesthetic of rooftops from papercraft houses, and it's a cardigan / duster / cape mashup. So this comes in 3 sizes. It's done in fingering weight yarn, but you can use like leftovers. You can also do like lace weight held doubled, or a strand of fingering held with a strand of lace weight, or a DK weight worked at a tighter than usual gauge. There's lots of options. It's worked modularly from the center out, with each square attached to the previous square along one or both edges. Once all the squares are complete, armhole edging and contrasting outer edge are added. And this one is another one where they do a like thing to show you what order. Look at that picture. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get...
You just skipped a whole pattern.
Did I? Oh, there. Wait. Where does it start? There we go. Okay. Next up is 4 Quarters by Julie Robinson. This is a ballet-inspired wrap top. And it showcases a quilt-like intersection of 4 segments joining at right angles in an assertive counterpoise. So here it is. This is done in 10 sizes in a worsted weight yarn. US 7's 4.5 mil needles, constructed front to back, hem to hem in 2 pieces. The sleeve, neck, and body are all worked simultaneously, and the body is shaped using short rows in the chest, sleeve, and shoulder. The ties are picked up and worked down from the front hem edges. Then the piece is seamed together at center front, center back, underarms, and side seams. It's meant to be close fitting but not tight. It's a very cool concept. I really like that. And then we have the
Trapunto by Vinky Peterman.
There we go. This is inspired by a technique called trapunto, which is filling the stitched outlines with extra batting to make the shape stand out in high relief. I like this one. I love the texture on this, and they did it in a couple different colors. It's got pockets that you can do on it. So this is done in 8 sizes, Aran weight yarn. The optional pocket is done in fingering weight. And you can either crochet or knit the pocket. Done in US 8, 5 mil needles, US 7's 4.5 mil needles, a USG crochet hook 4 millimeter, or US 4 3.5 mil needles. Open front jackets worked in one piece seamlessly from the bottom up with short rows that create a slight high-low hemline. After separating the piece of the armholes, the back and front are worked separately, back and forth. Shoulders joined using a 3-needle cast-off. Sleeves are picked up around the armhole and worked down in the round. Patch pocket is sewn onto the jacket. Okay, that is all the patterns. And then there is an article about Quilting for Justice, about the Social Justice Sewing Academy in the Bay Area. There is a piece called Pieced Together, which talks about quilts as metaphors for identity. And then there's the patterns. Okay, and then the recipe is the confetti quilt cake. And I need somebody to make this for me stat. It's a Battenberg cake. And that is everything. So what was your favorite?
The wheat one.
The wheat one?
And also that one that looked like a Jake.
Yes.
The one you like.
Yeah. The...
Cute cat.
I like the crux.
That one.
Yeah, the one with the strands through. The ballet top is cute. I don't know that it's something that would look nice on my body type, but I like it. I also liked the trapunto with the texture. So overall, thumbs up?
1 cat up.
What do you think, Pink? You want to smell it? Okay, let me open it for you so you can get a good sniff.
No thank you.
No, thank you. Pink doesn't like to smell it, but we do because it smells so good. Highly recommend Pom Pom Quarterly, and hope you enjoyed our review. We made it into the show. Yeah. I don't know if I didn't say earlier, but I'm wearing my Stars Hollow shirt, and I'm wearing my Lorelei inspired I Smell Snow Fable band, and I'm wearing coffee earrings because it's a whole package deal. I don't think we have any announcements. We're on this new schedule now that works well with my work schedule and your class schedule for the spring. So episodes will be coming out on Mondays. Do we have any other announcements? I don't think so. We'd like to say a huge thank you. Love y'all so much to everyone who supports the podcast / FlossTube, no matter how it is you do it. We are very, very honored that you are part of our community. I can't remember where I was on my, I only knit one needle of my preemie hat, and I couldn't remember what I was on to do the second needle. There are many ways you can support the podcast financially, and that money almost completely goes to shipping out prizes, but also some technology behind the scenes and such. If you would like to support the podcast financially, there's several ways you can do that. The main ones are Patreon and YouTube Join, which is a way you can pledge a certain amount of money to your favorite creatives and earn rewards or perks based on the level you donate at. Danny, if somebody wants more information about that or wants to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/GGKCS, or click the join button under any of our YouTube videos.
What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
We are bookshop affiliates. We create a shelf each week with the books that we talk about. And if you purchase a book from our online bookstore, both we earn a commission and local independent bookstores earn money from the purchase. There's always a link to the to that week's bookshelf in the show notes, as well as you can go to our shop, bookshop.org/shop/GGKCS. And we are Amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates if you're going to shop on Amazon. If you click through our website first, look at the sidebar at the bottom of the show notes for your appropriate Amazon. Do your shopping as normal. We earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing anyway. Danny, why don't you tell them, we know where to find ourselves online. Tell them where to find us online.
You can find us at ggkcs.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc.
That's right. Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely, lovely week ahead. Remember to stay safe, wear your masks, get vaccinated when you can. I'm completely vaccinated. I'm good to go. Dammy is waiting for their turn to be able to go do it. And yeah, so stay safe, stay healthy, and until we see you again, happy crafting. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
What are you doing? Was you taking a bath? Was you taking a bath? And laying on Mama's stuff? Do you think you're a sunflower if you lay on sunflowers? You're such a pretty baby. I love you. Hi.